Ooh, I'm just kidding. I gotta talk about this guy. Hello, everybody. You guys doing all right still? You're still there? Awesome. Growing up in Southern California, I was your normal high school student. I know some of you are like, you look like you're in high school still. I'm actually 32 years old. It's because I'm Asian and I have fantastic genes. Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. In high school, I was a pretty normal guy. I was into fast food, skateboarding, and donuts. And also music. I remember in high school, there was this guy who went up on stage during lunch. He grabbed the microphone and he went, say what? And I dropped my lunch and I was like, what? I looked at my friend, I'm like, what did he just do with his face? He's like, bro, that is beatboxing. That's when you cannot afford an iPod. I was like, I can't afford one. I worked at Dairy Queen for like 3 days and then I quit. And so it became a mission of mine to learn how to beatbox. You guys want to hear some more? Are you good? Okay, I want to get the energy level up really quick, so here we go. Thank you very much. It's very affordable. You don't have to buy anything. You just use your face. So anyways, I was your normal type of high school student. I was into those things. And when it came to church, born and raised Catholic, I don't know if you guys, any born and raised Catholics here in the audience? The thing about my participation in church, I didn't really like going to church growing up. I went for 2 reasons, girls and donuts. So as long as there were cute girls, I don't know if you have donuts here. Do you guys serve beignets after Mass? I don't know what y'all do here in Louisiana. But for real, when it came to like what the church taught, what the Bible taught, what God said about things, I was like, okay, I better listen so I don't go to hell or something. But in terms of my desire to live it out because I thought it would be good for me, I really wasn't convinced. I was just your typical average high school student who listened to conversations in the locker room that went like this. Hey, yo, you went to the dance, right? You went on a date with her? Did you get some? Yeah, I got what? Did you get some? What? Did you get some Popeye chicken? What do you think? Did you get some sex? I didn't. What's wrong with you? Got any swag? Common high school mantra, did you get some? Essentially, how much did you use a person to please you until you were done, discarded her, and went to the next option? You see, I grew up in a culture where I was taught so many things about different moral situations, but especially relationships. And you know, in high school, you don't want to feel like you're left out. You don't want to feel like you're going stag to a dance. You want a girlfriend, you want a boyfriend, etc. And so I was on the hunt. I had a drought, but so sad, forever alone. But what happened is one time it was a weekend dance. It was a school dance, and I went there, and I was on the prowl. I wanted to find a nice girl. And so I wasn't really much of a dancer, but the DJ was spinning the music. It was like, yeah. I mean, I had like the 2-step, but like, I didn't have that like funky stuff that people do. I didn't have dancing skills, but I was trying my best. And now the corner of my eye, I see this cute girl. She was like doing her thing on the dance floor, and she had her makeup done, her hair done, and she looked good. And you know, I just can't help but think like that law of attraction that happens, it probably started way back when the cavemen were around. Like a caveman walks out of his cave and he's like, oh, girl. 3 miles away, smells a girl, I don't know. And then 3 miles away, the girl senses, you know, him staring into the side of her head, and she goes, hi. And so there I was all awkward, like, trying to impress her like an awkward bird doing a mating dance or something. I got her attention. We got tired of dancing and went outside. I was trying so hard to impress her. I was pulling out my one-liners like, girl, are your parents terrorists? Because you the bomb. So listen, can I have it? I got her number, and that at least was an accomplishment that day for me. I was a little bit shy, so I got her number. Thank you very much, thank you. I was scared. No, but I got her number, called her up, we went on a few dates, and sure enough, I became her boyfriend. She was my girlfriend. So life was pretty good. I mean, in high school, that's a pretty good week, right? If it lasts longer than a week. So there I was in a relationship with this girl, and I thought things were going well, and they were. And then one day she called me up. She's like, hey, Paul, this weekend my parents are going to be away for the weekend. Do you want to come over? Maybe, Friday night? I was like, yeah? There's a part of me that knew that perhaps this would be a bad situation. Perhaps this would be a situation in which my morals, or at least what I had been taught at church and about different things, especially in regards to sex, may be jeopardized. But I was like, I'm going. Bye. I do formally regret that I even told my parents, can I go to a sleepover with my church friends? They're like, yeah, go with your church friends. Get closer to Jesus. Man, that's so messed up. Don't judge me. I've been to confession already, okay? So here I was. I went over to my girlfriend's house, and I don't really need to get into much detail, but let's just say this, that I compromised, that I fell into sexual sin. I made choices that night. I made choices. And you know what's so ironic about those choices is I had grown up in a culture that said, if you live this lifestyle, then you will be fulfilled, you will be happy. That all the hunger and the longings that you have to be loved, they will be fulfilled. And it's crazy, because I didn't feel that way. Like, yeah, for the moment it might be exciting or fun, or it might feel good or whatever, and yet there was this part of me that knew this isn't right. Like, I had been taught one thing, but I was living another way. And so that night, I was just thinking to myself, I don't know, I don't want to get emo, but were I to die, where would I stand before God? And I just knew that I wasn't right with God. I knew that I had compromised. I knew that I had turned my back on God, and I had chosen my own way. Now, the thing is, when we are faced with opportunities to do good or evil, right or wrong, ultimately the decision comes down to us. No one can force us otherwise, not even God. That's why he gives us this thing called free will. But I want to bring attention to a character you should be somewhat accustomed with, and his name is Satan. Now, in the Gospel of John, chapter 10, we've been mentioning it earlier tonight, Jesus calls him out. He says, a thief comes to rob, kill, and destroy. In another place in the gospel, Jesus, he just gets pissed at him. He's like, Satan is a liar and a murderer. Like, he gets in his face. And who is this Satan, right? He's the dude with horns, blah. A lot of people aren't convinced that, the devil is real, the thief is real. They just say, oh, that's just a religious figurative device that scared people to go to church for thousands of years. Some people don't believe in evil. Some people don't believe in sin. Some people don't believe in the devil. That makes his job really easy. You don't believe me? Watch the news for like 10 minutes, and you'll be convinced there's something that's a little bit off. When people fail to believe that the devil is real, that Satan is really there, that the thief is lingering through the night, they're actually making his job a lot easier. Because think about it. You think it would be effective if you were on the other side as Satan and you popped out of bushes with like all your ugliness going on, and with your horns you're like, hey kids, you want candy? Do you think that would help people to do the wrong thing? You want sex, here you go. Like, I want to go to confession. Think about it. Obviously, you want to be a little bit more stealth, a little bit more convincing. And so we live in a complicated time where whether it's conversations at school, whether it's the music or the movies that you watch, whether it's the porn that's circulating on the internet, whatever it is, there's these messages that are underlying every opportunity. So the thing with Satan, I want to get real with you for a second. It's because that night, even with my girlfriend, I'm not saying that she was the devil. Girls are the devil. That was all her fault. She made me do it. No. Does that sound familiar? Adam and Eve, the Garden of Eden, the book of Genesis. God said you can eat from all the trees in this garden, just not this one in the middle, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And what does a serpent do? Satan. He goes to the woman, Eve, says, oh, he didn't. No, you're telling me that he told you you're going to die. You won't die. No, your eyes will be open. You'll be able to see like God. You see, he took something good, because God had created it. It was good, but he had a specific command not to eat it. And so the serpent comes in and says, no, it's good. Can't you see how good it is? And you want some, don't you? You see, he took something good and he corrupted it. He twisted the truth. And that's what he does. Think about why people choose to do things that are wrong. I don't think there's any people out there, unless they're severely mentally disturbed or possessed by the evil one himself, they don't wake up in the morning, they're like, I hope to commit as much evil as I can today. I genuinely hope for humanity that no one wakes up and wishes to just do evil. Think about why people do the things that they do. Think about it. Why, for instance, let me just go through a list. Why do people choose to steal things? It's because in their minds they're not like, oh, I want to make people extremely upset and sad and then become angry and depressed. That's why. No, they're saying, I'm going to steal this iPhone because I don't know, I like having a phone. It's a nice phone. I can call people and I don't have to work for it, and that would make it a lot easier on me. Why do people choose to do drugs? They're not like, well, if I smoke it, it'll just systematically destroy my life and every relationship in it, and it'll totally kill me. No, they don't think that. So people choose drugs. They're thinking, well, I don't know, but I've heard the high is really good and it'll take the edge off, and maybe I'll make some friends. Those guys seem pretty cool. You see, it's always a twisting of the truth, isn't it? You think about anything else. Why do people gossip? You're like, oh, I don't know, it's kind of messed up. I don't know if I should share that information. It's kind of personal. Maybe it would hurt their feelings. But then again, I don't know, she was kind of messed up to me, and it would make me a little bit more popular with these people, and they might like me a lot more if I'm that type of person who's just biting at people too. You see, in all of these situations, there's something good that's being offered. And who do you think is the mastermind behind all of that? And I will tell you, it is the thief who comes to rob, to kill, and destroy. And what does that mean? What is Jesus talking about? Because his words are very clear. He's not mincing them. That this enemy comes to rob, steal what? What is he stealing from us? We're getting whatever we're doing. No, he's robbing us of our God-given dignity. As children of God, through baptism, through confirmation, we receive this beautiful gown, this baptismal robe. And what does sin do? It sullies that robe and makes it dirty. And then mortal sin that's unrepented of, serious sin, essentially what you're saying is, you know what? I don't want this anymore. Take it back. Because Jesus, you have so many rules and so many commands and so many ways you want to ruin my life. And you know what? There's a lot of other things that I'd rather be doing, all right? Isn't it so funny that when people kind of start struggling in their faith, the first thing they make excuses about is the way that they're behaving. No one can judge me, only God can. You're right, he will judge you. But before he wants to judge any of us, he wants to forgive. We know that. But meanwhile, we have this thief who's whispering into our ear, saying, no, it's good for you. Go ahead. You know what you want. Go ahead and take it. No harm done. Go ahead. He comes to rob. He comes to rob our hope and our joy. Back to that situation with my girlfriend, I wasn't happy. I was actually kind of depressed. I was like, oh, crap. And it just led to more and more behavior in the same situations, and it just led to me compromising over and over again in my heart the things that I knew were wrong, but I would do them anyways because it was just that false promise that, no, if you do this, if you take this, if you use this, then you'll be happy. And we fall for that crap. We believe it. And why? It's because we don't trust him. We don't trust Jesus. It's like the reason people reject his commands and his ways is because deep down inside there's a part of us that's like, I don't trust you. You're telling me to wait to have sex before marriage. You're telling me not to do drugs. You're telling me not to do these things, but I still feel miserable. I'm not that happy. So these things look really appealing, Jesus. And so, sorry, not sorry. See, it's a copping out. It's not trusting that God has our best intentions in mind, that his love is truly limitless. It's actually siding with a thief who comes to rob, to kill, and destroy us, because we're actually believing through a twist of what is true that the devil actually has something better to offer us. That's why people choose to do things that are wrong, not because they're just wrong, but because people perceive them to be good. And so, friends, my challenge to you tonight, and I apologize, I had to be the guy to go deep and dark. The challenge that we all face is, what will you do? How will you respond? Perhaps there's something in your life tonight that you're wrestling with. As I was speaking, maybe it awoke in something in you where you were like, I have that thing. What are you going to do? You've been presented with this image of the shepherd. And now you've been presented with the image of the thief. And the wages of sin is death. The outcome of a life of unrepented sin is death. So choose what you will in freedom. But I beg you, choose wisely what you will do in freedom. Amen.